of cough. Really, like it's almost they call it 100-day cough. Um, and I don't know how long that's gonna take. So that's why you've not seen me on a live broadcast of late. Please do share this broadcast if you can. Help us reach more people. And I do appreciate you all. 1 second, please. Let me just make sure it reaches as many people as. So please do share as much as you can to reach as many people. 1 second, please. Yeah. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Season A, the platform where we speak truth about. You haven't had much from me of late because yeah, I've got this really bad cough, cold cough thing. So I've not really been able to come out as much as I would normally do. But welcome on board. Do share the broadcast. Let us reach as many people as possible. We're waiting for a few minutes. We're waiting for a few minutes. Those of you who are watching us, please do continue to share. I'm not able to. I've not been able to do what I would normally do, which is to come out on regular broadcast due to the health issues. But anyway, nonetheless, we're going to continue. The plan is to continue and we give as much information as possible and raise the level of awareness. Um, for me, I believe in my issue. Issue is a powerful issue is a powerful deity of ours, Urisha. Orunmila, sorry, Irumole, even Irumole. You know, that is part of our Yoruba culture and tradition and belief. Um, so before I say anything, before I go forward, I I s- I praise issue. I thank issue um, for being part of who we are. I am proud to be a person that is proud in his culture, part of which is issue. Issue is not someone that kills or harms unnecessarily. It should protect people. It should actually, blesses your whatever your undertakings. It should actually want you to be upright, to be pious, to be kind, to be someone that supports justice. That is what issue is about. Um, so I state that because a lot of people have got this misconception, this lie that we've been told about issue, and many of us have chosen not to have because of the conditioning, we've been led to believe that issue is very, very dangerous. We should look away from it, only look at the ones that the colonials gave us. Let us think very, very deeply. How is it that a colonial who wants to take everything in our land, our resources, everything, is it is his very own belief that we now turn to believe in. And how do you think that belief will help us? Let us think deeply about what I'm saying here. This is not about hate. Um, our God issue is just as relevant as their so-called Jesus Christ. They should not. Nobody has a right. I am not here to sort of allow anybody to sort of say issue is the devil and accept it. We all now know that that has been a big lie. That is a lie that has impacted the lives of many of us. And that lie has damaged us all. Many people may not agree with what I'm saying, but it is the truth nonetheless. Fine, if you want to be a Christian and a European and you want to be a Christian, that's great. But that does not give you the right to come and tell me that my issue is hidden because you want me by force or by hook or by crook to support your Christianity. You are taking away energy from some a God that has never once abused or cursed you or said called even your name, doesn't even know who you are, and you prepare to you destroy that because of what you want to take from the people who are worshiping that God. That is very, very wrong. No one has the right to actually come and destroy our belief system and keep theirs intact. That is very, very wrong. And I state it again. Christianity, the colonial Christianity, is based on their cultural beliefs. They have cultural beliefs. The Easter is Easter. Apollo is a same-sex couple, but all of that is part of their culture. And We need to be very clear about that. Our culture we should be proud of as Yoruba people. We should no longer allow anybody to put our culture down, because when they put our culture down and our belief system down, they are putting you and I down. See, that's what I'm saying. My cough is affecting me now. Sorry about that. Okay. So I wanted to just state that. Excuse me. Um, I really also need us to really understand that we need to be proud of who we are. When we go and support a religion that actually sees us as sinners, to make us to believe that we are sinners in ourselves, and that it is only their own way that will actually save us. Save us from what and from whom? Let us ask questions. That is what I'm saying. If that is their belief, fine. They need to respect our belief, and it is in respecting our belief that we respect ourselves, and we can really be the best that we can be. I hope that makes sense. It's not about attacking; it's about standing up for issue. Issues of God that I'm deeply, deeply proud of. That is part of our African culture. We should embrace it. Um, there is, I'll just put a side note. There is African Christianity. Indeed, it can be argued strongly that Christianity came from Africa. Ethiopia, for example, they have the labella. So that's Christianity. The Christianity that's doing us the most damage is, of course, the colonial Christianity and all the things that they're trying to use to try and control the minds of Africans. That is the reality of what we face. But we'll come back and talk about that later on. What I want to focus on now is that, you see, because of these religions, our leaders, hi there, welcome. Please do share this broadcast. Because of these religions of Islam and Christianity, we are not able to get good governance, because what they are doing is to make our leaders, they condition the minds of our leaders to believe that everything about Africa is bad, that we have to turn away from our ways and do what they want us to do. And it's gone so bad that the likes of, in Nigeria, for example, BP, Shell, and Exxon, they take away our oil and they sell it back to us. Nigeria is the third largest oil producing country in the entire world, yet our people are poor. Let us think about that. And it all stems from this religion, from the religions trying to control our leaders, trying to control us. When you control people's mind, you control their wealth, you control everything about them. And that is what is happening. So we need to understand that religion is not this religion they're using is brainwashing. Our leaders are mentally enslaved to such an extent that they would take all that money, all the fake money, that the illusion. Money is a fiat, it's a fiat currency, it's an illusion, it is not real, it can never be real, it is not based on real resources on this earth. It's not based on gold. It's not based on anything. Money is something that was created. We need to understand that it is created. We used to use cowrie shells for money to trade among ourselves. We used to do that many, many, many years back. Then we did trade by barter and all of that. Money is an illusion designed to ensure that those who are following this religion of Islam and Christianity, you remain enslaved while they take your resources. That's the reality. Many people don't like to hear those facts, but we need to speak it. Now, here's how these religions have mentally enslaved our leaders. You see the picture that I put up of Tinubu embracing and going towards Macron in a very, very great manner. He's good and everything else. But we all know. Let us just think about that. We all know this. We all know that the uh, uh, France is a very the governance. Those in France, they're based on this European imperial superiority. Their mindset is that black people are less than anybody else. Zesty, hi there, and welcome. So they are all based on. Thank you very much. Hi. So they are based on the idea, the ideals of France is to dominate and oppress black people. So when we see our President Tinubu, going to speak to France, And we can see what France is doing in the places like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Gabon, and all over. We see that France is about exploiting African resources. You're the only one watching. I understand, Zesty. I understand. There are others, that's fine. Others may watch. I know there is something called shadow banning on Facebook. Um, but I do try and share it. Please, if you're watching Zesty, I am grateful. Give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people. I will share it afterwards. I'm going to come on a love on what do you call it? I'll come on a live broadcast later on as well. Oh, there's two people now. Please do share. Give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people. We need for more people to wake up. So what I was saying is that any African leader that is cozying up, thank you very much, Zesty. Any African leader that is cozying up to any of the European leaders, they are simply, the African leaders are simply puppets because they are handpicked. The leaders, many African leaders are handpicked by the same colonial masters. And we need to really understand that that is doing us damage. And we have to begin to wake up. I am happy for people to practice and do what they want to help their governance. But it is sad that African leaders are doing everything they can to prevent their own people from growing. Indeed, they're doing everything they can to ensure that Africans remain impoverished. And it is so bad. The mental enslavement displayed by African leaders is so bad that they are prepared to take all this money and starve their people of the benefits of the resources to such an extent. Thank you very much, Zesty. I appreciate that. To such an extent that the leaders, the African leaders, they would go abroad to get healthcare, to get good schools for the children, to get all the infrastructure they should build at home. They would rather go outside and do it. And then what is sad is that when many of these African leaders fall sick, instead of them getting the having the putting the money into their own healthcare to build good hospitals, they would go and spend the money outside and then they die abroad. That's mental enslavement. Those leaders are clearly mentally enslaved. If you cannot see that by you investing in your the healthcare for your own community, for your own people, for your own area, for your own country, that you are going to benefit, your family will benefit, your entire, your society as a whole will benefit. But rather, you take that money away, you go and buy homes abroad, you take your kids to foreign schools, you buy foreign cars, you buy all of these things, and then you now say you are leading your country. You're not leading anything, you know. Um, Zesty, want to play truth or dare? Oh, you're right. Okay, thank you very much. Right now I'm just focusing out, and right now I'm sorry I came to do the program for a particular reason, but I know what you. I'm not too sure, so let me just focus on that right now. Thank you very much. Um, so what I'm saying right now, as for Africans, the African leaders, we have great. There are three great leaders we have in Africa now: Ibrahim Traore, Goita, Asim Goita, and General Chiang. Those are the three great African leaders because they are actually working for their people. I'm sorry to say it. I'm a Nigerian, but I cannot say hand on heart that Tinubu is working for Nigerians. I cannot say that because when you see an African leader, if you can see the three leaders, Ibrahim Traore, Asin Goita, General Chiang, the three of them are working for their people. They are keeping away from the colonials. They are. And that is an example of good leadership. But you can see what Tinubu is doing. Tinubu is spending his time in France with Macron. And we all know what Macron has done in Africa. Macron and France has been about exploiting African resources. They are panicking now. We are hearing some things. A dead woman behind me. You're trying to distract me. No, no, let me just forget that. No, there isn't. So, what I'm saying here is this. Um, please, my broadcast here is aimed at trying to raise awareness and trying to build a better Africa for Africans. That is my focus. Anything else, that's my focus when I come on this platform. Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I want to make that very, very clear. What I am saying and what I'm standing by is that the need for Africans to speak up for Africans. I am an African, so I'm therefore speaking up for Africans. That is the best way we can do this. We can begin to actually influence and change things by actually having meaningful discussions among ourselves about the solutions that we can have, bring forward. Ibrahim Traore now, this is very, very serious. Very, very serious. Yes, just reason. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. So what we are saying is this: we need to understand that when you have leaders like Ibrahim Traore, Asin Goita, uh, 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 and uh, and of course, what do you call it, General Chiang. When you have those African leaders that are speaking up and they're working together among themselves, and they've done a pact, those three leaders, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, they have pulled out of ECOWAS. They have pulled out of ECOWAS. There is a reason why they pulled out of ECOWAS, because they know that ECOWAS is not a body that is coming out for that is working for the benefit of Africans. ECOWAS is not a body that is working for the benefit of Africans. ECOWAS is about oppressing and suppressing the citizens and allowing colonials to take away African resources on the cheap. That is what ECOWAS stands for. Whereas Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, they stand for fighting for the right of Africans to their own resources. We need to support such governance. We need to support them. We need to encourage more people to join hands and support them. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not here abusing anybody, but I'm saying that the leadership of Tinubu, the way they are leading that nation called Nigeria, they are leading it on the orders of Macron and the Western world. They are not looking out for the interest of the people they serve. They are only looking out for the interest of their pocket. Let me give an example. The governor of Ondo State that died recently, his name was I forget his name. The governor of the late Ondo State governor, Akeredolu, he died recently. Instead of him to have, this is a perfect example of what I mean. Instead of him to have been investing money in hospitals in Ondo State to have the best hospital for the people of Ondo State, he rather went to Germany to get treatment for cancer. You know, so these are the kind of things that I'm talking about. We are talking about the things, yeah, Rotimi Akeredolu, that's correct, yes. So these are the things that I'm talking about. When you have leadership that instead of investing in their own healthcare, they go and use healthcare outside. That shows that they are puppets. That means that they are enslaved to the thinking and the mental conditioning that colonialism has placed on their minds. They are not able to reason for the common benefit of their people. They're looking only for their pockets. That is why we're saying, as Africans, it is time for us to wake up. And that's why I keep telling you all, whether you like it or not, there is a direct connection between, there's a direct connection. Is it boring? Well, it may be, but it's the reality. Um, there is a direct connection between um, um, uh, 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 colonial Christianity and the colonial government that we have. And we have to be very, very clear about it. If we want to build a better Africa, we need leadership like Ibrahim Goita, Ibrahim Traore, yeah, Ibrahim Traore, General Chiang, and Ibrahim Traore. Next year, Ibrahim Traore is building a plant whereby they will be processing their own gold in Burkina Faso. That is the kind of leadership we want. In Nigeria right now, our oil is refined outside of the country, and then we pay to bring the oil back into our country. Nigeria is the third largest oil producing country in the entire world, and it still is. But because they've taken away, they're making sure that we never able to process our own oil. That fact is hidden because the BP, Shell, Exxon, they are in control of our oil resources. They take control of it. We need to wake up. This is the reality. And it is time that as Africans that we begin to actually wake up. We need to wake up as Africans. There are things that we need to do. Our focus has to be how we can ensure that the resources we are endowed. I'm saying it again. Think about this. Nigeria is the third largest oil producing country in the entire world. In the entire world. And it still is. It has always been and it still remains. There's a report that shows that Nigeria will still have over 236 years of oil reserves. That is how much oil that we have. More than 2 centuries. But yet we are the poorest. Our people are poor. We cannot continue like this. We cannot continue. We need to reconnect back to issue. Issue is part of who we are. You see, when you're following following religion, guess what happens? Your governance is going to be dictated by those religions. That is what is happening in Nigeria. Many of our leaders, they are Christian or Muslim. Everything they're doing, when you're a Christian or Muslim, your first thing you're going to go for is that you will be going to Mecca. If you're a Muslim, you will be looking at Mecca as where you go. If you're a Christian, you'll be looking at Rome as where you must go, that where your pilgrimage. Everything about your thinking is outside of your own country. Whereas if you are following a shoe and you're worshiping a shoe, everything that you will be doing will be to bless that land because issue is connected to the land. Are you following me? Issue is actually connected to our land. Your Christianity, your colonial Christianity is not connected to your land. Islam is not connected to your land. They are there to exploit. Do you see the difference? So what you worship, what you pray in, those things, they impact your governance. Many people don't like to connect those things, but that is the reality. That's the harsh reality. That's why I am saying that our leaders right now they are mentally enslaved. A nation with mentally enslaved leaders will be the leaders you will see that country will never prosper. A nation with mentally enslaved leaders will never prosper. They will always do everything to support the religions that they worship. You understand me? They will never, ever, 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 they will never, ever, ever, ever do anything to bring the goodness into their own country because they are mentally enslaved to those religions. Those religions will make them to think outside of their own nation. So when you have leaders who are saying they are Christians, know that they are mentally enslaved. When you have leaders who are saying they are Muslim, know that they are mentally enslaved and they can never bring you anything good into your nation. They will never walk and fight for your land. They won't. They will be doing everything to please the masters, the colonial masters that actually got them into power. And that is what is happening. As Africans, the fact that Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have pulled out of the ECOWAS should tell us that all African leaders, except for those three, they are mentally enslaved. They are going to bow down. No African leader should be bowing down to any Christian god, any colonial Christian god. When you bow down, you are giving away, it's a symbol of allowing those countries to control your life. That is what is going on. And we need to really be very, very clear about this. Our leadership in Africa are mentally enslaved, except for three people, three leaders: Ibrahim Traore of Mali, Burkina Faso, Asim Goita of Mali, and General Chiang of Niger. Those three, they are leaders who are fighting for their people, who are doing everything to protect the people. And the people are now protecting those leaders. That is a sign of a good leadership. If you go and look in Nigeria now, people are not happy with our leaders. In Niger, in Mali, in Burkina Faso, the people are coming on the streets and telling the colonial to leave their land because they want their leaders. Can you see that? Is that happening in Nigeria? How many people are standing up and supporting Tinubu right now? How many? I'm just asking a simple question. How many people are saying, no, 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 do not touch name Tinubu? He's doing, we are great. We're happy. We want to. Nobody's doing that. But they are doing that with with Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. They're doing that with Asim Goita of Mali. They're doing that with General Chiang of Niger. That is the kind of leadership we need in Africa. And that's the reality. For me, I'm not abusing Tinubu, but I'm stating facts and I'm stating it. When you have African leaders causing up to the very people that have colonized us, that have destroyed our continent, that have looted from our continent, France takes away mineral resources of Africa at dead cheap prices. In Niger, France was buying our 1 kilogram of uranium at 70 euros. Now, France, if they want to buy the same thing from Niger, they have to pay 200 euros for 1 kilogram of uranium. That's daylight robbery. So let us be very, very clear about this. I'm not abusing Tinubu. I'm stating that he is an example of bad leadership that are mentally enslaved. They are mentally enslaved to, they are enslaved to the system. And we need the leadership that is committed to serving the people. That is the reality. I hope many of you can relate to what I'm saying. Please do share this broadcast. Let us hear your views. Just reason I'm really grateful for you to for your comments and thank you for reminding me to Rotimi Akeredolu. May so rest in peace. But again, that illustrates when a leader cannot, when a leadership ends up in actually um, allowing allowing for his people to be living, to not have uh, good health care, to not have good schools, to not have good roads, to not have water, to not have light, to not have the things that you want in an economy, but they will go and enjoy those things in a foreign country. That's not a leader. That's mentally enslaved puppets. They are not leaders. All these people are not leaders. They are puppets. And that is what I'm trying to. They are absolute puppets. And they really, really do not look out for the interest of Memo Melit. Israel or Palestine. Of course, look, Israel or Palestine for me, somebody talked about that. I'll just talk about that briefly. Memo Melit, Israel or Palestine, for me, I support Palestine because of the fact that there is a genocide going on. Israel is actually carrying out genocide against the Palestinian people. That is the reality of. You cannot look at the pictures. Just look at the pictures of what you see. So let us speak truth to power. Just looking at the pictures alone, look at the destruction that's taking place. Over almost 30,000 people. In fact, 30,000 people have been killed in the past few weeks by Israel. You know, it is look, there is no other way you can look at it. So if you want to talk about somebody is not liking this, so the reality is what we're looking at. The reality is that it is a genocide. And the fact that the United Nations are not taking. Thank you very much. Yes, absolutely. Just reason. I support Yoruba Nation, and that is what we're talking about. So, Memo Melit, I hope that answers you. I don't want to go too much into that too much because I have to be conscious because when you talk about certain things, they make things more difficult for you. But I will find a way to talk about it. But going back to the issue that I wanted to talk about, and I was talking about earlier on, and that is this. It's essentially this: as Africans, We need to now involve ourselves in our leadership. We can no longer stand aside and say, oh, they are in government, let them do it. Our role, we are sovereigns, and many Africans have been taught lies. You see, they buried our eyes in these false books of Christianity, false books of it's colonial Christianity and Islam. Colonial Christianity as in Islam has been put in our minds so that we are not able to focus on acting, holding those. Thank you very much. Just reason. Thank you very much. That's a very good question to ask. I wonder if that is something that is a good question to ask those who are in those areas. Do they support? Does Israel support Yoruba nation? Do this exactly? Just reason. I am really glad you asked that pertinent question, and it's questions that we should be asking ourselves. So when you think about that, when you think, for me, I happen to think that this idea, for me, Christianity, where African Christianity comes from Ethiopia, that is where we need to focus on and support. But I am 100% certain that the Ethiopian Christianity will not have any issue with we Yorubas supporting our issue. They will not have a problem because they know that each and every one of us have our own belief systems that we grow up with. So these are the things that we're talking about, and we need to wake up. Memo Melit, I am a Nigerian. That's where I am. I'm a UK born Nigerian, but that I'm proud to be a Nigerian. I am proud to be an African. I'm a black person, and I'm speaking up for my people. And I think we need to be very, very, very clear about that. I'm not trying to. Here is not about attacking things, but it's trying to identify what is not working. The leaders that we have, except for Africa right now has three great leaders: Ibrahim Traore, Asin Goita, General Chiang. Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, Asin Goita of Mali, General Chiang of Niger. These are three great African leaders. And you can see the greatness because the people of those three countries, they are standing right behind those leaders because those leaders are speaking for the people. We can't say that about Nigeria. The Nigerian leadership is not speaking for the people, and they are not working for the people. They are not making sure that the people have water, light, road, schools, bridges, healthcare, safety, and security. What our leadership is doing, they're buying themselves cars. You know, yeah, I'm proud Yoruba. Exactly. Your Islam or Christianity is not that relevant. Thank you very much, Just Reason. I really appreciate that. That is what we need to do. And we need to ask, we need to demand that anybody that's going to come for leadership, to leadership in for Yoruba people, you have to be believing 100% in issue. If you do not believe in issue, then I'm sorry to say it, your leadership is about deception because you cannot be supporting a foreign god and at the same time wanting to see Yoruba nation. It won't work. It will not work because you will always, your mind will be taken over by that religion. It is as it's happening. You can see it. Those religions will control your mind. Whereas if you are connected to issue, who is connected to our land, now when your leadership comes forward, you will see that right. You know, our leadership is about really benefiting the people. Once you start talking about colonial Christianity, your mind goes to Rome. Your mind is no longer with your own people. Once you start talking about Islam, your mind goes to Mecca. Your mind is no longer on your own soil and how to, yeah, okay, bye, Zesty. You can go. That's fine. That's okay. That's fine. Thank you for coming by anyway. I do appreciate you. So, but we're still talking about issues here. We're not going to change the subject. I do share to people who may want to share it. But thank you for coming by anyway, Zesty. So I appreciate that. We might, but right now my focus is on what we're trying to do right now. What we're trying to do is to raise awareness in our continent. Africa, Nigeria is the third largest oil producing country in the entire world. And our resources are being taken away by Shell, BP, and Exxon. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I better go now. It's Citizen here, the platform always pictures.